I'm on a horrible stretch of road. It's a road I've got to travel a couple of times a week, usually after dark, and it's got itself a bit of a reputation. Every other day I'll see another dead kangaroo on the side of the road. And it's not the spiders and snakes you've got to worry about here in Australia, it's all the wildlife, especially driving at night. Some of these things are the size of small trucks, and if you hit one, it's definitely going to take you out and possibly destroy your car or your motorbike. It's one thing here in town, but out back in particular, so many animals are just allowed to roam free. Not only cattle, but also some of the introduced species as well. Camels, feral pigs, lots of wildlife just roaming free. Very few fence lines out back. And because of that, it's driving at night in particular along this stretch always concerns me. It's not difficult to outdrive your headlights. You've only got to be doing 100 kilometres an hour, and you can outdrive your headlights, within a couple of seconds. I did fit a light bar to this vehicle some years ago. I had reason to travel across Australia, and I thought there might have been a chance that I would have had to drive at night, so I fitted a light bar. But since fitting the light bar, I noticed that it's lost some of its effectiveness. I think it must have got moisture inside. And what happened is the guys out at Colight reached out to me and they said, "Steve, we know what you do as far as four-wheel driving and motorcycling," and they wanted me to review a set of their lights. Now I think they might have been aiming more at the motorbike, but I don't like riding a motorbike at night. I very, very rarely do it. I did upgrade the light on the Suzuki DR650. I had an LED light fitted to that. Not so much for driving at night, but more so to be seen during the day. And when you compare the LED light to the standard light, there's a big difference. They reached out to me and they said, "We'd like to gift you a set of lights. Have a look at them, tell us what you think." After chatting to them, they understood what sort of driving I did, and as a result of that, they sent me out, or they were going to send me out a particular light bar. That's in the mail, should be here in a few days. I'm not going to fit anything shiny to the vehicle, be it the car or the bike. It's got to serve a purpose. I'm not into farkles. What's a farkle, you say? So yeah, it's got to serve a purpose, and certainly the light bar, I think, has a practical application, just to help keep you safer on the road at night. I expect to get that in a couple of days. I think that might be for me. Okay, well here it is here. It's only taken a few days to get here, which is good. Let's open it up and have a look, eh? Got a few goodies inside here. Alright, let's see what we got. Let's start with the light bar, because that's the reason we're here. Now this is what they call a 22 inch. It's to actually replace an existing light bar that I've got on my car. And this one will sit on the roo bar in the position that the other one currently sits at. And straight away you can see that this is it's sort of dual purpose. It's got a couple of spotlights in the centre, and of course on either side of that you've got a wider beam. So this will probably be ideal for the driving conditions that I do. Those two spotlights in the middle will give me a range, I think, of about 800 metres according to some of the literature. So yeah, nearly a kilometre of distance in front of you that you're going to hopefully see any hazards as they appear. So that's the light itself. It's got a mount it either from the side or underneath. It's got a slide rail here. I'm not quite sure, I'll figure this out later on, but that's because I'm replacing an existing light. That's going to come in handy because I won't have to drill any additional holes in my rhubar at the moment. So yeah, a few nuts and bolts and obviously fittings to aid in mounting. We'll have a look at those shortly. And this is obviously the wiring loom. Now just looking at it, you can tell there's lots of length there. Pretty straightforward, a positive and a negative for the battery. An inline fuse close to the power source, which is standard. That's a relay, a 40 amp relay, which I think is pretty standard for a set of lights like this. That's the sort of size relay that you need for a light bar of this size. And as I said, lots of length there. Through the firewall on the car, a simple rocker switch, which I'll mount on the dashboard with a small light there that probably will illuminate once you turn the unit on. And obviously the male and female plugs, and just looking at that, and of course all the wiring is protected in a loom. So yeah, looking at the quality, it looks like it's very well put together. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, anybody with a little bit of mechanical aptitude should be able to mount this and wire it up. It's not complicated at all, just by looking at it. So that's the light bar and the wiring. We'll go ahead and mount it on the vehicle. Well, I've set up the work area, and like any kid with a new toy, I couldn't resist but have a play with it. So I've just hooked up the positive and the negative terminals to the battery, and did a test run, if you like. Also checked the switch to make sure that was working, the on-off switch, and it does. Everything works fine. So what I'll do now is I'll disconnect the battery. Now I've got two batteries, of course, one cranking battery for the engine and a second battery to run all my accessories in the fridge. So I'll disconnect the cranking battery, take the existing light bar off, and then see what we've got to work with. Works the existing light bar off, and while I was doing that I was thinking, look, this is not an initial install, this is effectively an upgrade for me, for my car. So all the wiring, the loom, the relay, the switch, it's all identical. So rather than me pull all the existing wiring out just to reroute the new stuff through the firewall and under the dashboard and all that sort of stuff, I might as well just cut the wires. As I've been pulling this as I've been following the wires, I've noticed that there's a join there. That might have been for the initial install of that light bar. So all I really need to do, there's only two wires, a positive and a negative. So I could just cut those there, solder them together, and that could be the job done. I mean, I was tracing the wiring. That's the relay, the existing relay for the light bar. That's 40 amps, which is what I need for the new light bar. That's the fuse for it. It's the same amp fuse. So rather than complicate things for myself, I might as well cut the two wires, solder them together, and install the light bar. Right, I've soldered the two wires together, positive to positive, negative to negative, of course, and shrink wrapped the loom just to make it look a bit neater. So all I've got to do now is feed that wire through the grill, under the grill, and through the bull bar, mount the spotlight, and then mount the light bar and then connect it up. The original light bar was mounted from the side, and looking at it I think that's the only option you had. But this light's been designed, this is the bottom, and the idea of course is to put these tracks in there so you can adjust it to in this case suit existing mounts. Very clever. Well, that's it. Unfortunately, the holes didn't line up, so I had to use the other mounts that they supply. They come in from the side and drill a couple of holes in the bumper, but the light conceals the original holes anyway, so nobody's going to know that. So all I've got to do now is hook up the other two terminals together, connect the battery, and then check the lights. Well, as you can see, they work just fine. I've only lined them up by eye. I'll have to wait till it gets dark this evening, and then we'll go out on Neves Road and see how they perform out there.
Sing for me sweet lullabies. Bright nights, an everlasting darksome days. Bright nights.
Oh, huge difference when you compare low beam, high beam, and then with the new light bar. I mean, have a look at this. There's low beam, there's high beam, and that's with the light bar. Outstanding. I've just pulled up on a dirt track, and you can actually make out the spotlights in the centre of the light bar as opposed to the floodlighting on both sides of the track. Well, there you have it. What an improvement. What a great accessory to have hanging off the front of your car or your motorbike. Big shout out to the boys there at Colight for giving me the opportunity to review this light bar. More than happy with it, more than satisfied. And if you think that it might be a good addition to your either car, truck or motorbike, then go to the website, have a look. There's lots of options there, lots of different lighting options, and if you use the discount code in the description below, you'll save a few bucks as well. Thanks for watching. See you on the other side.